for our video presentation.
What is accounting? Accounting is how your business records, organizes, and understands its financial transactions or information. The accounting process includes summarizing, analyzing, and reporting these transactions to oversight agencies, regulators, and tax collection entities. You can think of accounting as a big machine that you put raw financial information into, records of all your business transactions, taxes, projections, etc. that then tells you a story about the financial state of your business. Accounting is how you get a clear picture of your financial position. It tells you whether or not you are making a profit, what your cash flow is, what the current value of your company's assets and liabilities is, and which parts of your business are actually making money.
Accounting begins with recording transactions. Business transactions. Business transactions are any activity or event that involves your business's money. Business transactions need to be put into your company's general ledger. Recording business transactions this way is part of bookkeeping. To begin with, bookkeeping is the first step of what accountants call the accounting process. The accounting process defines as the process of taking in transaction data and financial reports. This time, we will talk about ledger. So what is ledger? Ledger or general ledger is the place where business transactions are recorded and categorized. It is used to keep track of the financial reports. General ledger contains the accounts that defines as categories under which all business transactions fall.
These are some examples of accounts title. The first one is cash. The definition of cash is bills, coins, bank balances, money orders, and checks. Yung mga investment ng kumpanya na convertible into cash in a short period of time, maximum of 90 days. The next one is account receivable. The definition of account receivable are claims against customers arising from sale of services or goods on credit. Nagtrabaho ang kumpanya o nagbenta ang kumpanya pero hindi pa siya binabayaran ng customers or inutang ng customers. The third one is supplies. The definition of supplies is a cost of supplies on hand at a point in time. Ito yung ginagamit ng kumpanya para mag-operate. The fourth one, prepaid expenses. The definition of prepaid expenses are expenses paid for by the business in advance. The fifth one, property, plant, equipment. The property, plant, equipment are long-term assets vital to business operation and not easily converted into cash. These are the examples: land, building, equipment, furniture and fixtures, service vehicle. The fifth one is notes payable. Notes payable is a liability in writing. The next one is accounts payable. The accounts payable is the money owed by the business to its suppliers. Next one is capital. Capital is used to record the original and additional investments of the owner of the business entity. In Tagalog, puhunan. Next one is withdrawal. Withdrawal is when the owner of the business removes cash or other assets from the business. Salaries expense. Salaries expense is the cost incurred to pay in the employees. Second to the last, utilities expense. The definition of utilities expense is the cost incurred by using utilities such as electricity, water, waste disposal, and heating. The last one is professional fees. Professional fees is usually an income account used by a professional firm in recording its revenues.
But before anything else, we should know what is T account. A T account is a graphic representation of a general ledger account. The name of the account is placed above the T, sometimes along with the account number. Debit entries are depicted to the left of the T, and credits are shown to the right of the T. A number of T accounts are typically clustered together to show all of the accounts affected by an accounting transaction. Also, it is a fundamental training tool in double entry accounting, showing how one side of an accounting transaction is reflected in another account.
And now, let's start to record the transaction using the account. Let us use B. Aquino's law firm. B. Aquino, a young lawyer, completed the following transactions during April of the current year. Transaction dated April 1 began his practice of law by investing 54,000 pesos cash in a law library with a fair market value of 91,000 pesos. The following accounts are cash, amounting 54,000 pesos on debit side, library, amounting 91,000 pesos on debit side also, and B. Aquino Capital, amounting 145,000 pesos on credit side. Transaction dated April 2 purchased 37,500 pesos office equipment, paying 7,500 pesos cash and giving a promissory note for the balance. The following accounts are office equipment, amounting 37,500 pesos on the debit side, cash, amounting 7,500 on the credit side, and notes payable, amounting 30,000 pesos on the credit side also. Transaction dated April 2 purchased office supplies on account from Goodwill Bookstore, 9,000 pesos. The following accounts are office supplies, amounting 9,000 pesos on the debit side, and accounts payable, amounting 9,000 pesos on the credit side. Transaction dated April 7 completed legal work for A. Bawino and collected 13,500 pesos in full payment therefore. The following accounts are cash, amounting 13,500 pesos on the debit side, and professional fees amounting 13,500 pesos on the credit side. Transaction dated April 10 paid 2,520 pesos for a 1-year fire insurance premium. The following accounts are prepaid insurance, amounting 2,520 pesos on the debit side, and cash, amounting 2,520 pesos on the credit side. Transaction dated April 15 billed T. Caranto for legal services rendered 22,800 pesos. The following accounts are accounts receivable, amounting 22,800 pesos on the debit side, and professional fees amounting 22,800 pesos on the credit side. Transaction dated April 15, paid salary of legal assistant 9,600 pesos. The following accounts are salaries expense amounting 9,600 pesos on the debit side and cash amounting 9,600 pesos on the credit side. Transaction dated April 18, paid the amount due to Goodwill Bookstore. The following accounts are accounts payable amounting 9,000 pesos on the debit side and cash amounting 9,000 pesos on the credit side.
Transaction dated April 23. Received from T. Caranto 11,400 pesos as partial payment of his account. The following accounts are cash amounting 11,400 pesos on the debit side, professional fees amounting 11,400 pesos on the credit side. Transaction dated April 24. Purchased additional office supplies on account 6,500 pesos. The following accounts are office supplies amounting 6,500 pesos on the debit side, accounts payable amounting 6,500 also on the credit side. Transaction dated April 25. Returned 1,500 pesos worth of defective supplies purchased yesterday. The following accounts are accounts receivable amounting 1,500 pesos on the debit side and office supplies amounting 1,500 pesos on the credit side. Transaction dated April 27. Withdrew 6,000 pesos cash for personal use. The following accounts are B. Aquino Drawing amounting 6,000 pesos on the debit side, cash amounting 6,000 pesos on the credit side. Transaction dated April 28. Billed C. Daza for legal work completed, 15,000 pesos. The following accounts are accounts receivable amounting 15,000 pesos on the debit side, professional fees amounting 15,000 pesos on the credit side. Transaction dated April 29. Paid the monthly utility bills, 3,780 pesos. The following accounts are utilities expense amounting 3,780 pesos on the debit side, cash amounting 3,780 pesos on the credit side. Transaction dated April 30. Paid the salary of legal assistant, 9,600 pesos. The following accounts are salaries expense amounting 9,600 pesos on the debit side, cash amounting 9,600 pesos on the credit side. Transaction dated April 30. Paid 6,000 pesos of note payable. The following accounts are notes payable amounting 6,000 pesos on the debit side, cash amounting 6,000 pesos on the credit side.
Always remember, in recording a transaction, there should always be 2 or more entries of the accounts in order to balance the transaction, because in the end, it will reflect your unadjusted and adjusted trial balance. And now, let us end this video with a quote from the accountancy franchise. Life is like accounting. Everything must be balanced. Thank you for watching and have a fun learning.